Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome to Renee Box Young. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, showing your support, tuning into the lives, commenting in the comment sections of the videos. Subscribers since day one, recent subscribers, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I'm having a ball. I'm just having so much fun chopping up boxing, with each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate you. Those who are new, new viewers and listeners, this is simply a platform, Renee Box Young, where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and simply talk about the sport of boxing. In a simple, mature, level-headed fashion. Take the hate somewhere else. You know how we do it here, man. Definitely. I really appreciate you. If you're new, go ahead and like, go ahead and subscribe, share, and all those who have been supporting, since day one. I really appreciate you, man. You guys are awesome. You know what I mean? Here we go with the excuses, ladies and gentlemen. Nah, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. I want to share something with you. Apparently Billy Joe Saunders has the flu, something along those lines. We're going to check what he said specifically via interview he had recently, and I want to share this with you because I don't know, man. It makes me think. It makes me reconsider. I guess you can say reconsider this whole fight between Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo Alvarez. Which is if I'm not mistaken, is scheduled for May 8th or something like that. I don't know, something along those lines. So let's check. Let's get right to it. BoxingScene.com, link in the description. You already know. It says here, Saunders hasn't started camp properly yet for Canelo fight. Had flu, still heavy. Okay, so he had the flu, so it's past tense. So he had it, but let's get right to this, man. I don't know about this. Yada, 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 interview, yada, yada, yada. You can read that. It says here, Saunders stated that he hadn't trained for 10 days by the time that interview was conducted. Okay, but he added that he was looking forward to starting his serious preparation soon for his 12-round, 168-pound title unification fight against Alvarez. So, okay, let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a quote from Billy Joe Saunders. Okay, as I think obviously everyone knows, I've got to be at me best. Okay, that's how the Brits talk or whatever. At me best, Saunders told co-host. Okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, so but I'm pushing for time now. 10 days off training. Okay, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pushing for time now. 10 days off training. I've got the flu. Not in shape. I'm still heavy. I'm still, not started camp properly yet. Now, I probably should have said this in the introduction, but whatever. I want to say this right now, okay? The thing here with Billy Joe Saunders, man, I'm not the type of people to knock this guy. He can box. He has skills. I'm not knocking him at all, you know what I mean? As far as what he can really do in the ring when he's in optimum, shape, whatever, right? When he has trained or whatever. He's a pretty skilled boxer, okay? I got to make that clear first and foremost. I appreciate what he has done in the ring, and I enjoyed several of his fights. I have enjoyed several of his fights. Not all of them, though, you know what I'm saying? But there have been a few. I think some guy named Caceres, whatever, a Spanish guy, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't perform well at all, that well. But, a couple fights out there. Lemieux is one of them. Martin Murray, what he did against him, he did very well. But obviously Murray, I've said it time and time again, he wasn't, that guy's out of his prime. That guy that should retire. If he hasn't retired, I don't know what's going on with him. But, my point in saying this is Billy Joe Saunders has skills, okay? Sanders, however you want to pronounce it, okay? He has skills. And I don't knock UK fighters. I've said it time and time again, man. And shouts out to my guy Bruce Goes. I remember him in a live session we had with him. He mentioned, boxing is a global sport, and that stuck to me. That stuck to me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we tend to focus only on certain fighters and from a certain country. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is a global sport, ladies and gentlemen. And my hat's off to the fighters. You know what I'm saying? Worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not the type of guy to come out here and say that only these guys are the best around this area of the pond or this side of the pond. But whatever. I don't do that. I appreciate boxers worldwide, you know what I mean? Because I love the sport, you know what I mean? So Billy Joe Saunders, so I'm not the type of guy to knock UK fighters. I don't do that. I definitely, if you do your homework on my platform, I have given the props time and time again, to Eubank Jr., Chris Eubank Jr., Anthony Joshua. A lot of UK fighters I've given my props to. You know what I'm saying? Billy Joe Saunders is one of them. So let's get back to that. I just want to make that clear, you know what I'm saying? So, but what kind of makes me doubt and reconsider this whole fight now I mean, not holistically, but it just makes me doubt now because of what Billy Joe Saunders is coming out and saying. I mean, obviously, and it's true what he's saying, I've got to be at my best. I mean, all fighters got to be at their best. That's a given, you know what I'm saying? And then he's saying, but, you know, I'm pushing for time now. 10 days off training. I've got the flu, not in shape, still heavy. So those things, you see what I mean? Those things that he's saying right now, I mean, he's coming out and saying it. Let me just say this. A fighter who is heavy, he say, I'm still heavy, I'm not in shape. In other words, he's not in shape. That's strike one, okay? That is strike one for any fighter. It doesn't matter what fighter it is, who it is, whatever. It doesn't matter what belts he has, what level he's on. I can care less about that right now. Concerning this aspect, okay? When a fighter comes out and says, you know, I'm not in shape, I'm heavy, and your head is not in the game. Fighters should, you know, how many times have we talked about this in other sessions? You know what I'm saying? Fighters have to be in shape year round. I'm not saying you got to be perfect and you know what I'm saying? Of course, fighters enjoy their lives, but they know to what level they should keep their, you know, shape, you know, what level is the limit. Where, for example, you know, maybe a fighter is fighting at 160 or something. It's just an example, like Billy Joe Saunders, right? Or 168, whatever. You know, you're a 160 fighter, for example. And a fighter should know the limit of how much he can gain weight between fights. It's discipline, ladies and gentlemen. It's discipline. It's discipline. I mean, how much more obvious can this be? And common sense and fundamental for a fighter. My gosh, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? A fighter has to know his limits. So, for example, a fighter can say he's fighting at 160 or something. You know, maybe he you know, gains a few pounds. But not to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to... You see, that's the problem we've seen time and time again with fighters out there. You already know the names. I don't even got to mention the names, ladies and gentlemen. You know, how many times have we seen it? Oh, I'm not sure if I can make weight on time. That shouldn't even be in the discussion of a fighter, ladies and gentlemen. That shouldn't even be coming out the mouth of a freaking fighter, a professional fighter who knows what weight he should be fighting in and who knows his body more than he knows. You know, he knows, he or her, each fighter knows, you know what I'm saying, their own body more than anyone else. They know their bodies more than anyone else. They know how much gain they weigh in a period of time, depending on what they eat and their intake, calories, blah, blah, blah. So for a fighter to even just say that shows there's lack of discipline. Now, I've also talked about it. I don't like how, you know what I'm saying, Billy Joe Saunders outside the ring acts like sometimes he acts like some junior high immature kid. You know what I'm saying? He's a grown man, but sometimes he does foolish things outside the ring. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, that's his personal life. But I've said it time and time again, ladies and gentlemen, what a fighter does outside the ring affects what they do in the ring. And affects what they do leading to a fight in the ring and the lead up to a fight. And this exactly fits the context. You know, BJS is coming out and saying, you know, he's heavy. He's heavy. That goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, his head's not in the game. His head's not in the game, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big strike. You see why I'm reconsidering this whole fight? Just by the looks of it, ladies and gentlemen, let's forget skills for a moment. Just by the looks of it, Canelo's going to come in and smash this guy. He's going to come in and smash him, make him look ridiculous, probably. Probably. I'm not saying it's going to happen like that, okay? But it doesn't look good, okay? And let's get back to what he's saying here, okay? So, getting back to that interview, you know, shouts out to those who did the interview, Barack and those guys, okay? So, let's continue. And then it says, Saunders, check this out, man, responded sarcastically when Best asked if, considering the delayed start of training camp, he'll have enough time to prepare properly for a fight scheduled to take place 8 weeks from Saturday night. He says, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he was responding sarcastically, but why even... You see what I'm saying about immaturity? My gosh, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying about immaturity? Look how he responds in a sarcastic manner. No, I don't have enough time, Saunders said. But, you know, I'm just going to go over there, pick a check up and go home, and that's about it. You know, did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that's actually what some fighters do? You know, and why is he saying this? Why is he joking? You see what I mean about maturity? You see what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? You see what I'm saying about maturity? How Billy Joe Saunders sometimes just goes out and says foolish things, acts foolish, more outside the ring, in interviews, whatever. I mean, he's probably going to do that, even though whatever the article how wants to say it like that. Oh, he responded sarcastically. Maybe he was serious. Billy Joe Saunders is an immature guy. Maybe he really meant what he was saying. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You see what I'm saying, guys? Come on. Come on. Okay, so we'll continue reading here. Saunders seriously answered when pressed about the additional time off potentially impacting training for a very difficult fight against arguably the best, blah, 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 yeah, whatever. Because he says here, there's one thing with me, okay, this is Saunders. If I get beat or if I win a fight, never will I make an excuse. Well, we hope not, because it sounds like you were doing it up here. You see, you guys, come on. I think that, I don't know, man. Anyways, even if there was an excuse, according to him, right? So he says, from my end, there's zero excuses. If I'm not good enough to beat Alvarez on the 8th, I'm never going to be good enough to beat him. I understand what he's saying there, but you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look good so far, ladies and gentlemen. You understand what I'm trying to say here? It doesn't look good so far. Even though he says, yeah, I have zero excuses, but around the same breath, same interview, you're saying that you're overweight, you're 10 days late now in training, you had the flu. It's just like, the biggest strike I see here. I understand, man. I mean, the flu, I understand. I'm not knocking that. I understand. Things happen. Life happens. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Because let's just hope after this fight. Okay, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just hope that after this fight, Billy Joe Saunders doesn't say after he gets knocked out, after he wakes up from the canvas. Maybe. He doesn't come out and says in an interview, I had the flu and I just couldn't prepare, on time. Don't give us that. We're not going to buy it, okay? Let's hope that he doesn't come out and say what Pulev's team was saying. What a shame. What a shame, and how embarrassing is that, ladies and gentlemen. I made a video about it, how Pulev, when he got smashed by Anthony Joshua, and I predicted it. Go watch the video. I explained it all there, okay? I knew it was going to happen, okay? Let's hope that Billy Joe Saunders will come out and say what Pulev's team was saying after getting smashed by Anthony Joshua. Say, oh, Pulev had coronavirus. Yeah, he just couldn't prepare well. He had coronavirus. What a crock of you-know-what is... I'm sorry, I keep it clean, man. My gosh, ladies. Sometimes these guys just come out with the lamest, foolish excuses that we're not going to buy. And then Pulev, in the context of that, his team... They want a rematch with Anthony Joshua. Move on with your life, Pulev. You're not going to get no freaking rematch. And if you do, what a joke, man. With all due respect, that's a joke of a fight, man. We don't want to see that, So why am I saying this? Because let's hope after Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo fight, Billy Joe Saunders doesn't come out and say, you see what I told you guys? I was struggling with the flu. I was 10 days late. I was 10 days behind in training. And no. There's no excuses. You're right. And he said it in the same breath. There's no excuses. That's very well right. That is very right, Billy Joe Saunders. No excuses. Don't be coming out and telling us, I'm saying, oh, looking for sympathy that, oh yeah, I'm overweight. I'm still overweight. You shouldn't be heavy, bro. You shouldn't be heavy. You're a professional. But it looks like because you're lacking maturity, you're not in the game. You're not in the freaking game. Talks have been, ladies and gentlemen. I made videos about this. Come on now. Talks have been since about a year ago that Billy Joe Saunders was going to fight Canelo. But for one reason or another, they haven't fought. And I understand. I'm not going to blame any of them. Politics, whatever. Things happen. So talks have been that Billy Joe Saunders was going to fight, Canelo for about a year, man. Come on now, ladies and gentlemen. Billy Joe Saunders, there's no freaking excuses. Don't tell us you're overweight. Don't tell your head's not in the game. That's the problem. That is the root of the problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is the root. Let me repeat it. Of the problem, ladies and gentlemen. These fighters in between fights, overweight, partying, acting like, oh my gosh, dude. I don't want to go on rants, but that's the problem. The problem's not the flu. Get that excuse out of the way. Get that stuff out of the way. I understand. If you have the flu, recover. I hope the best for his health. But we're not gonna buy this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna buy it. Real boxing fans who see the context and see the sport in a an open-minded fashion, historically to now. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to buy this. We're not going to buy this, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I mean, the root of this is Billy Joe Saunders not having his head in the game. He knew sooner or later he was going to fight. He was going to fight Canelo. Like I said, it's been in talks for like a freaking year, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Had he really had his head in the game, he would have been training. He would have been training already. Before this little flu he's talking about. Before this flu he's talking about. He would have been training. He would have been in shape already. But no, he's just living how he wants to live and you know, just not taking care of himself. You're a fighter, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying? And this goes for all fighters out there. I've ranted. I've talked about, you know, Benavidez when he missed weight. You know, the belt got stripped from him. I've done the same about Tank Davis. I'm doing the same about Billy Joe Saunders. I do the same about all fighters, ladies and gentlemen. I'm 100 with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody, I reiterate, I've said it time and time again in my videos. If anybody does not know that by now, then you just don't know what Renee Box Young represents, this platform. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not buying this from Billy Joe Saunders. So this makes me reconsider the possibility of Billy Joe Saunders even winning Canelo. You see what I mean? You never hear that, you know, from Canelo, that, oh, he's sick and, you know, he has to, you know, he's just behind. This guy is always in shape. Canelo is always in shape. Bud Crawford is always in shape. You know, just in case you think I'm sitting here riding for Canelo all day. No. And like I said, my platform, y'all got to go do your homework if you think otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford is always in shape. You know, Charlos, the Lions, from what I see, those guys are always in shape. The list goes on and on, ladies and gentlemen. Shakur Stevenson is always in shape. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can name all these other fighters, but you already get what I'm saying. Jerome Ennis is always in shape. Virgil Ortiz looks like he's always in shape. No excuses. I mean, it's just, you know, what Billy Joe Saunders is saying out here. He's already coming out with excuses, even though in the context of there's no excuses. You know, if I don't beat him, then it's just I will never beat him, and you know, I don't use excuses. Yeah, but in the context, you're kind of alluding to that. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Man, so let's see how this develops. Let's see if the fight is not postponed, ladies and gentlemen. You see, this is why I've said before in other videos. Let's see if if it even happens. If the fight goes down. Now it's all if, because so many things could happen between you know what I'm saying, between fights and scheduled fights and the lead up to a certain fight. You know, same thing happened with Caleb Plant some time ago. He was scheduled to fight the Ustigati guy, and you know, his hand got injured. And that's I understand. I'm not blaming anybody. You know what I'm saying? But I say this because, you know, anything can postpone a fight, and that fight was postponed between him and Ustigati. And then he went and fought Ustigati later. You know. Certain fights and more because of this whole coronavirus stuff. Fights are getting postponed. You know what I mean? Hand injury, another one. What's another example? Supposed hand injury by Frampton with Herring. Something makes me doubt that hand injury thing, man. Now it's rescheduled to go to Dubai. Anyways, but you see, I mean, so many things can postpone a fight. And we'll even see, man. It's kind of sad because we'll even see if Canelo will, if this fight's postponed, it might, you know, it might interfere with Canelo's plan and fighting four times a year. 4 times this year, I mean. If this fight's postponed down the road too much, he'll probably just fight 3 times this year. But I think he'll be able to squeeze in a 4th fight. But let me get back to what I'm saying. I think the root of this is not the flu. The root of this is he said it out of his own freaking mouth that he's still heavy. He's heavy, and then when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, concerning Billy Joe Saunders and his lack of discipline and immaturity. His lack of maturity outside the ring. You know, that's what it is. That's the problem. That's the root of this issue. His lack of discipline and lack of maturity, and having his head in his own profession. And that's just ridiculous sometimes with these fighters, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? However, I'm not negating his skills. Please remember what I said earlier. I'm not negating his skills. Billy got some skills, but what really I don't like is that he's not taking advantage of those skills. You know what I'm saying? To the fullest potential that he has, because of those other factors I'm talking about. You're heavy. You know what I'm saying? You're heavy. You're overweight. I mean, I understand you gain a few pounds. That's fine, but you know your limits. You're a professional, man. Don't you have a team around you? Don't you have people putting you in check? Don't you have people who are holding you accountable? You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? These guys, these full-grown men, you know what I'm saying, champions or whatever you want to call them, you know, pro fighters, you know, don't have people who are holding them accountable. These guys are acting like kids. Yeah, it's just a sad situation, ladies and gentlemen. Not all these fighters, but you got a select few of them out there that are acting like kids. Full-grown men who are acting like kids, who aren't taking responsibility, you know what I'm saying, and having their head in the game. I reiterate one more time. This fight has been in talks for like a year, at least a year. And maybe some of you guys know more. Maybe it's more than a year. So there's no excuses here, Billy Joe Saunders. There's no excuses here. Stop telling us that you're overweight. We can care less about that, bro. Do your job, man. And you should have been doing your job for months. You should have been preparing for Canelo for months. This is the biggest fight of your freaking career, Billy Joe Saunders. And you just blowing it away, waiting around, gaining weight. Nonsense. You see what I'm saying? You see why I'm saying I'm reconsidering this fight? Before I was kind of excited about it. But it seems like Billy Joe Saunder, he ain't getting his head in the game. He got to get his freaking head out the clouds and get to reality here. You're going to face Canelo, man. You know? So I personally think, just by the looks of it, man, Canelo's going to come in and smash this guy. He's going to make him probably look ridiculous. He's probably going to make him look ridiculous. But we'll see. We still got to wait and see. But from what I'm seeing right now, that's probably going to be like that. It's probably going to be like that. You know, but we'll see. Like I said, maybe we'll see some clips later on, a couple weeks from now, that he's really, you know, training and but I don't know, man. It's just I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Compare Canelo's. Look at Canelo's discipline between him and Sanders. Just with the weight alone, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the weight. You think, you know, Canelo's not getting fat and getting overweight, you know, between fights? This guy got his head in the game. Nah, man, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and comment below. What do you think about it? You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? I just got to speak my mind about this, and wasn't happy when I read this. You know what I'm saying? So comment in the comment section. Thank you so much, Renee Box Young. Go ahead and like, subscribe. You know, Renee Box Young, I reiterate, is a platform where we simply discuss and critique analyze and talk about the sport of boxing in a level-headed fashion, you know, in a mature fashion. Take the hate somewhere else, Renee Box Young. Stay safe, each and every one of you. Thanks so much for your support. Peace out.